welcome to Path of a Plumber. I'm here with Diego Lujan from Alphalete Plumbing and now Heating, correct?
Yeah, now heating. Yep, correct.
Yeah, you just recently added that this year is what you said.
I did January 1st, man. And it's we've hit the ground running with it. And I didn't realize how much the HVAC business is a gold mine.
Yeah. It's a lot bigger margins than plumbing for sure. That's for
For
sure.
sure.
So, we've already talked, and usually I start out with sharing a little bit about just your background and kind of how you got into the plumbing industry. Can you just kind of give a little foresight on how you kind of got into it and tell a little bit about your journey?
Sure, man. So like I was telling you, I credit plumbing for saving my life, as I'm sure many plumbers do, right? I come from a I come from a construction background within my family. So I've seen every aspects of entrepreneurship in the trades, but they primarily did roofing, building, concrete, stuff of that nature, right? Stuff
Yeah.
that I didn't want to do. So I kind of chose plumbing and plumbing kind of chose me. And ever since that, man, I hit the ground running. I knew I didn't want to do concrete, right? Because I grew up doing it.
Yeah.
Knew I didn't want to do roofing. And so I chose plumbing and just absolutely fell in love with the trade, man. So
Yeah. And you were saying that you actually spent the majority of your career on the commercial and industrial side, right?
I did. So primarily for 10 years of my career, I was a commercial and industrial plumber, right? So I grew from an apprentice working on a construction job site to eventually being a foreman, project manager, and then a superintendent. And once I maxed out my career, man, I just, I knew that I wanted to own my own business someday. And like I was telling you, when I first started plumbing, I fell in love with it so much. I used to tell everybody on the job site that I was working with, someday I will own my own plumbing business and you will work for me. And at the
Yeah.
time, you're an 18-year-old kid. People are like, yeah, okay, Diego, you're going to own your own business someday. And it's funny because I've actually had some of those plumbers work for our business in the
Yeah.
past. So they're like,
Yeah.
remember when you used to tell everybody that? I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
see, I
Yeah.
told you so. But
Yeah.
yeah, man.
And so you transitioned, and you said that you kind of started out doing a little bit of the construction side, the commercial side for your business, and doing service, and you kind of recently come to the conclusion that maybe the construction side is not what you want to spend your time on anymore.
Exactly. So obviously, like any small business, any plumbing business that starts from the ground up, you got to start somewhere. So I started with service, right? And all I knew at the time was construction, construction, construction. But I'm pretty savvy, man. I learned fast. So I started doing service initially to start, but then moved towards the commercial construction game once I started gaining some ground, some traction,
Yeah.
earning a reputation within the community, which I already had from previous jobs. And I hit the ground running with commercial construction. And, you find out in that game real quick that the profit margins are just not like service profit margins. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
lot more money, right? You're getting a lot bigger checks. But when it's all said and done, when you pay your suppliers, you pay all these bills that you've accumulated to do this commercial project, only a small piece of the pie is left, right? And
Yeah.
so I looked at 2009, at the beginning of 2019, we actually added the plumbing service division, which I personally didn't have my hands involved with too much, right? I hired my brother-in-law. He came on as my COO. He was really in charge of the plumbing service division, and I was still doing the commercial construction thing.
Yeah.
But you realize real quick how easy it is to fail within the commercial construction industry. It's real cutthroat,
Yeah.
no loyalty. It's all about the bottom dollars and what you can do for the general contractor. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I learned real quick that I said, okay, I see all these service businesses throughout the country. Maybe I'm moving in the wrong direction, which I was. Now looking back, I absolutely was growing my business in the wrong direction. And that's why I chose to transition to fully service company. So
Yeah. And what has that transition been like? What is like, I know obviously, because I used to manage a company that had Colorado, like, water heaters is a big market for you guys. Cause I mean, you
Yeah.
can't live in Colorado without a water heater. Like,
Right. Yeah, so it's just like everywhere else too, though. You know, it's drain cleaning, your sewer replacements, a lot of old sewers within Colorado Springs. Water heaters go out there's different season for when water heaters go out because the cold and the heat fluctuates so much in Colorado Springs. So water heaters are our bread and butter, and also boilers. We've always serviced boilers. And then to add the HVAC division to the plumbing, it's been awesome, man. So this whole year, right, maybe 6 months ago, I totally said, look, we're going to do away with the large commercial jobs, and we still do some commercial work, but it's more or less along the lines of tenant finishes, anything that's 250,000 and below. Is where we're profitable, right? And where we can manage it. But we took everything that we had this year, and we're all in on the service division, man. So
nice. And what do you guys do? Just because I'm a marketing guy, what have you guys done to market yourself on the service side? How do you guys get most of your residential leads or customers? I should say.
You know what's super big is you really have to embed yourself within your community. So what does that mean, embed yourself, right? It means you have to go to these networking groups. It means you have to be involved in community activities. It means you have to be seen and known on news of, shining. If you're doing stuff for the community, own it. Be proud of that. Don't be humble and hide it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the people who are humble and hide what they do, in return, that's the best part of marketing is building that social, that personal brand enterprise within your community. So that has been our big leads, is building word of mouth on just the stuff we do to give back to the communities. And I do it from my heart, right? But you got to also use your brain, because you are a business, you are selling, you are trying to build an empire, a plumbing empire for your family and for your employees' families as well, your team members. So that's been one huge thing for us on the marketing side. And obviously, just like everybody else, man, we do the internet thing. What I've learned is to be personable through video on your marketing game. You got to have video.
Yeah.
And that's that we've been huge on building our reputation through video. It's as simple as pulling this out right here and speaking to your customers through Facebook, through Instagram, whatever you choose to do. And that's how we've really been able to connect with our client and customer base here in Colorado Springs. So
nice. And you said that you had a mentor that decided to help you on the HVAC side. And that was just kind of a unique thing that kind of came together and you added that. Can you talk more about just that?
Yeah, sure, man. So, just like I was telling you earlier, I'm really focused on growing my business like it's a franchise, right?
Yeah.
So I'm huge on if the E-Myth book, right? If you read the E-Myth, you should always build your business like you're going to sell it. Even though you want to keep it for your family or whatever, you should always build your business as you were going to sell it. So I've always wanted to add other services to our business. One being HVAC, one being electrical. We're not to the electrical yet, but HVAC, we just started, right?
Yeah.
So a gentleman by the name of Bob, he's an older tradesman, almost in his 70s, actually came to me. He goes, "Hey, Diego, I've heard a lot of great things about you within this community. You have a great reputation for being a young cat that just really wants to grow and learn everything you can about the trades." Because I'm a huge advocate for the trades, man. I just thrive off of that passion for the trades. So he came, he said, "Look, I want to help you build your business." I said, "Okay, you own your own HVAC business. Why do you want to help me build mine?" He goes, "Well, Diego, I have all this knowledge. I'm an older gentleman. I want to pass this knowledge on down to someone like yourself. And I'm just tired of what comes along with running a business. I'm getting too old for that."
Yeah.
And I said, "All right, great." And what's cool, man, what's dope is he was a service technician to Frank Sinatra and Bob Hope there in California back in the day.
Nice.
And
Yeah, that's cool.
I thought that was pretty neat. You know, it's like, man, this dude has been in the industry for that long.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like I can only strive to be a walking encyclopedia like this gentleman, Bob. So he's really came on, help, you know, we've already had the client base, because let's face it, plumbers, I'm talking to you plumbers out there, plumbing and HVAC go hand in hand. I don't know how many times we've been working on a water heater in somebody's home and they're like, hey, can you check out our furnace for us? Or, you know, other heating elements within their
Yeah.
house. And it just sucks as a plumbing business to turn that profit down, to turn that customer down. So now that we added HVAC, we don't no longer have to do that. We can offer both services. So
yeah, no, that's amazing. Have you guys started offering any membership type stuff, like maintenance plans? Because that's like a big thing in the HVAC world, is developing that membership program.
yeah,
Like I'll tell you, one of the things that I've learned over the years, and when you build your HVAC service division, when you create that, you know, annual tune up and those normal things, one of the things you do on the plumbing side is when it slows, you do plumbing inspections. And the number one thing to do is include a camera inspection. So you charge, you know, and instead of what people will do is instead of charging 150, 200, just charge $10 a month, $15 a month. It's a lot easier for people to bite off if they're a member at $10 or $15 versus you're asking them to make $150, $200 investment day one. And then they basically pay you to be your customer. You know what I mean? Because they guarantee to call you because they get the discounts. But the secret to the plumbing side is to include a camera inspection every year. You will sell a ton of drain work this way. It's crazy. It's crazy if you just put the camera in the ground and go, oh, look. And those people are already preventative maintenance people, or they wouldn't be on the membership program. So they already have that mentality to think ahead and like, hey, I don't want to wait till it's a problem. So just something to think about with HVAC. It's a lot easier to sell through it.
We're definitely going to connect and chat more on that. Cause again, right. I'm new. I'm not new to the service industry, but I'm new to growing a business in the service aspect. And I'll own that. You know, so whatever education or how we
when it comes to marketing for specifically for drains and HVAC service calls, those are like my two sweet spots.
Yeah,
I can get you unlimited drain calls and unlimited furnace service calls.
Yeah, we'll have to chat more on that for sure, man, for sure. Because again, I'm done with big construction. I mean, you know, it ain't the return and investment is just not there. Unless you're built like for that, you know, we're just not built for that.
Yeah, it's a different world. Yeah, you have to be able to finance those jobs to make the money. Yeah,
for sure, man.
So usually on every podcast, I do like to ask 2 questions, and I think so far it's a good episode. And usually the first one I ask is, what advice would you give someone just starting out in the trades? You know, just kind of getting their feet wet. What would you give them as that early advice? And then someone, you know, thinking about making the transition and actually buying or starting their own company, what would you give them as advice given your experience?
So I get asked this question a lot because I do a lot of different interviews. And one of the things I like to tell somebody just starting out in the field is one, you have to really make sure this is something you want, right? Because I compare plumbing to life. Life is full of challenges. Life is full of adversity. Life is full of pain and struggles. But if you work towards bettering your life and overcoming those challenges, then ultimately it's going to be super rewarding. And that's exactly how plumbing is. What you put into this trade, you're ultimately going to get out of it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's the advice I give to these apprentices is you have to make sure this is something you want for your life, because this is a lifestyle. This isn't a job. This isn't a career. This is a lifestyle, in my opinion. You know, it takes a special kind of human being to be a plumber. Straight up. I believe that.
Yeah.
And not because of what people think that means, but because it's going to challenge you every single day of your life. And it does, you know, and as far as somebody thinking about going into business, educate yourself, read books, do everything you possibly can in your power to speed up the process. And let me tell you why. There's these books, there's these educational programs that are here to help us. And it's only up to you to self-educate yourself before you take that leap, right? Yeah. And I tell them, if you ain't willing to make the sacrifices needed to become a plumbing business owner, then you have no business being a plumbing business owner.
Yeah.
You're going to sacrifice time from your family. You're going to sacrifice just about everything you can think of in your life to achieve that dream of being a successful plumbing business owner. Because it ain't for the weak. I've seen a lot of people start plumbing businesses and fail. And all they had to simply do is keep going and keep it pushing and never quit, never give up. As long as you have that mentality of all money in, I'm never going to quit, I'm never going to give up, you'll make it as a plumbing business owner. Because we all got to learn, whether it's the hard way or easy way. We all got to learn. And as long as you don't quit and you keep learning and you adapt, you overcome, you'll be all right. But if you don't have all those things, you might as well continue being a plumber.
Yeah. Where your check just shows up, you don't have to worry about it. Yeah.
Exactly. So
it's a great episode. You want to shout out just where people can find you? Because I do have a lot of plumbers that listen and tune in. So maybe if they want to reach out, get advice, just connect with you.
Yeah, most definitely. So I'm huge on IG, on Instagram. I'm not an influencer plumber, but I do be spitting the business of plumbing. So, there's a lot of plumbers on IG that talk about plumbing, show plumbing. I really specialize in the business of plumbing, and I only speak from my own experience and what I've experienced and what I've learned and what I do. You can follow me at alpha_elite_plumbing on IG, or simply by my name on Facebook, Diego Lujan. So
awesome.
That's where you can find me.
Great. It's a great episode. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate you reaching out and allowing me to come on your podcast, man. I think it's super dope what you're doing. It shows more about your marketing business than just being a marketing business. You really actually do care about us plumbers' stories and how we can get a better return in our investment. So I think that is awesome, bro. I commend you for that. And I know your job is not easy either. So
yeah, thank you so much, man.